welcome to Straight from the Approach.
Hey, Mark.
How are we? It's been a while.
I'm all right.
Yeah, no hot topics, no satire at the minute. It's been a while. So there is a hot topic off the press last night from the USBC,
There is.
as many will know.
And as the Meta AI told me, there are 4 main reasons why this has come to attention.
Okay, go on.
So, the hot topic of conversation is
Urethane.
urethane.
Of course.
Ban urethane.
Ban urethane. Put the 78D rule in permanently. Keep it as it is. Ban just the purple hammer. There are, USBC have now put out a poll. They have put out a basically a message saying, look, we want your opinion. And they've given a vast sheet that they want you to fill out and send to them if you want to.
So, I'm currently on the USBC's Facebook page, and there were
They had their 4 points, didn't they? Yeah.
4 main points about why to ban urethane. So let's go through them.
Yeah.
So the first point is lane pattern integrity. Urethane balls can alter lane patterns more quickly, disrupting the intended lane pattern design and creating imbalances between different styles of players.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's not wrong, yeah.
It's true. What's the difference between that and plastic, though?
This is the thing. Obviously, with plastic, it's thrown very, very rarely, or a lot less often, and it's not played through the pattern. It's just played across it for 1 or 2 shots. Maybe four shots a game.
Rather than 12.
if you're having if you're leaving ring 10s or 7 pins or what, rather than at least 10 every first shot. And if you're throwing it on spares as well, if you're leaving 3 pins, you can probably throw it on your spare shot. 2 pins, you're probably going to throw it slower on the same strike line, just let it hook more, so it's going to be the same shot. So maybe 15 to 20 times a game.
Which is quite a big change to the pattern. To be honest.
Yeah, so that's what they
So we do understand that one. The next one is competitive fairness. When urethane and reactive equipment are both used in the same competitive environment, it causes competitive imbalances between different styles of bowlers.
So this is the one that I take a little bit of exception with, because where was the kickoff when reactive started ruining urethane?
Yeah.
Back in the 70s and the 80s, and I think even early 90s, urethane was all the thing. And then all of a sudden, these reactive resin balls came in, and all of a sudden, you didn't have to be as accurate with your ball. You had area because of the lane pattern. But because it was made easier with reactive, no one batted an eyelid. But now all of a sudden, it's becoming harder to throw reactive on top of or around a urethane. There's big hoo-ha.
I will argue that point a little bit because, I played with Stevie T a few weeks ago, where I was using urethane and he was using reactive.
Yeah.
Not one time did he comment on me throwing urethane because he beat me by 400 pins in a few games.
And he won't. I mean, he'll have a bit of a to himself or an inner if he has to ball change because of it. But someone of his caliber knows he's having to ball change because of it, not because of
grind it.
Yeah, exactly. And
He's a grinder.
He's a grinder.
He's a grinder. He played inside and outside of me. He played the lane really, really well. The benefit of reactive is, especially someone with your hand, you can play out inside and outside of me. There are ways of combating urethane.
There are.
I just think some people don't understand how.
Yes, and that's a big thing. So if people don't necessarily understand how, they'll just go straight to it shouldn't be a thing. Because they're not used to what... The people who really should be spoken to are maybe not quite your seniors, but, because they would have been they'd have been starting bowling maybe mid to late 80s. But certainly your super seniors, your 60-year-old, 65-year-olds plus. So like Kim, Gordon, Steve's probably maybe a little bit young, but might remember it. They should be spoken to go on the flip side of the argument we're having now in the modern game to what was it like when reactive came in. Because no one actually, I've no idea. I was born in 91. I
started bowling 3 years ago.
Exactly. I started bowling in 99. And I did have a urethane ball. It was an AMF urethane, but it was great at the time. But it was old. It was beat up. It wasn't really anything. It was just one of those that was given to me as a YBC kid. And, yeah, exactly. So I have no idea what that introduction of reactive was. Obviously, the evolution of reactive balls is insane from even what it was when I was in YBC. But that was 25 years ago. Yeah. It's come such a long way. I think my first reactive ball was an AMF Nighthawk, and it was just this purple thing. That's all it was just it was pure purple. There was no other colour in it. There was nothing. It was just an entry-level reactive ball, like a raw hammer is now. But you look at the raw hammers now; they've got all sorts in their cover stock to make them look good. And this was just a blank purple thing that you could see every little scratch, every little nick. And that was 25 years ago. And it's insane how the game evolves. But I think we need to talk to that elder generation of bowlers to find out what it was like when reactive came in.
On the flip side.
Was it exactly the same? Was the argument the same? Was the conversation even had? All reactive needs to be banned? Or was it all adapted and just allowed? And then all of a sudden in 2010, urethane became a thing again, and all of a sudden it's, hang on a minute.
But it's the changing of the game.
It is.
You know, like the next point I will actually agree with a bit more, which is player development concerns.
Yeah, and this is a big thing
So
across
increasing
a lot of
reliance
nations.
on urethane.
Yeah, there are a lot of nations that do have this concern. We are one of them. We are one of them. And read it out. I remember reading it
So it
this morning.
says increasing reliance on urethane may reduce player versatility and hinder long-term skill development, particularly among younger and developing athletes.
It is.
I completely agree.
Yeah, 100%. You know, you look at a lot of younger players, they can throw a purple hammer until it's going out of fashion.
Yeah.
But then once that, especially at championships, and I'll use Denmark, the EMC 2025 this year, was a prime example. They didn't ban purple, where they could have installed the 78D rule and then maybe built a pattern that wasn't quite as drastic. But they didn't. They allowed it, and they then built a pattern with 4 speed bumps to try and combat throwing purple. And that's going to happen more and more. And when that happens, and it's not all, it's never all, but the kids coming up and through now who are throwing purples, blacks, they're going to struggle. And I'll admit, when 2017-18 was when I really started throwing, it was the English Open, and I didn't make the cut to the round of 16. I'll never forget the numbers because it was what made me buy a purple hammer. It was just, that was it. I had a black hammer from the year before, I think, the old
black.
Yeah, the OG black hammer with the red pin. Had one of them, but it wasn't it wasn't the purple. So I was throwing that whenever needed, or reactive at the time. And then all you see is this purple hammer. And I thought, well, is it a craze? Is it what is it? You know, and didn't think much of it. And then the English Open, I think it was English Open 2018. It was 17 or 18. The round of 16 had 14 bowlers throwing that purple hammer. I don't know who the other 2 were and what they were throwing, but there were 14 throwing a purple hammer. The round of 8 was 7 of 8, and the semi-finals and finals were all 4 bowlers throwing purple hammer. And from then, 7 years later, we're now having the conversation of should it be banned. But that kind of event and tournament is why this conversation is happening, because it shouldn't all be about one ball. It shouldn't. You know, and yes, there's a black, yes, there's a purple, yes, there's a 78U from Storm. So there are 3 or 4, but everybody knows that the purple hammer, because it's softer, it doesn't have that 78D hardness. That's what's causing well, hang on a minute, is it all urethane? Do we need to just scrap it? Do we need to install the 78D rule across the board? That's the conversation that I think is really starting to happen.
The younger dynamic is, I think, really important. That we see running 3 leagues here that there are a lot of young bowlers who rely heavily on urethane.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where they'll even slow will urethane across the lane and absolutely completely wreck that lane. And then it's the reliance, because then it's when your urethane stops working like you want it to, what do you change to? And I think that's why in some of our leagues we see, 220, 220, 140, because they're not getting that transition right. And it's very, very difficult because you're so reliant on that purple. The next point is governance and integrity challenges. Urethane balls can measure softer over time, making it difficult to distinguish between natural aging and tampering. These issues have contributed to protests and confusion at events, creating enforcement challenges and questions around competitive integrity.
That's a bizarre one, because
I don't know if I agree with that one.
obviously it is a thing.
Of course it will be.
The ball does get softer the more it's played and the more it's surfaced, but that's every ball.
Every ball.
You know, you keep putting a 360 pad over a hazmat pearl, it's gonna get softer.
What's the softness of a reactive ball?
I don't know. Because I don't look into it enough. I don't think it's much more. But it's the thing with the purple hammer is it can be going down to high 60s to low 70s, and that's where people are starting to say, well, hang on a minute, it's becoming a bouncy ball. and it can affect the pattern a lot more than it should.
The only reason I ask is because I heard that reactive balls are actually softer
Right.
than urethane,
Yeah.
but because of the cover stock and the core dynamic of a reactive resin ball, it doesn't make the same sort of difference. And with urethane, it's that cheat sheet. It gets better with time. It gets softer.
Yeah.
It gets
Yeah.
better with time. But reactive have a lifespan. So
Yeah, because they'll get oil.
They get
'cause
oil
the cover
soaked.
stock gets oil soaked, and they do eventually die. Depending on the ball.
So, yeah, what it's kind of telling me online is that, the durometer scale of reactive balls is lower.
Yeah.
But,
So
so in terms of hardness, that's up for debate. But I think the really big thing from those 4 points from the USBC is reliance on urethane.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing that we've noticed. We've got, like our YBC, for instance. How many of our YBC who actually bowl tournaments have a purple hammer? Every
yeah,
single one.
Yeah.
Every
And again,
single
you
one.
go back to the EYC this year, met for the boys and the girls. Purple hammer everywhere. Same last year.
Yeah.
It's just if you don't have a purple hammer, you're not going to compete.
I saw Junior Gold. I've been watching a little bit of that.
There wasn't a lot going around in junior gold. There was
The
a lot.
one guy I follow was
there?
BL Bowling.
Yeah.
Cone Guy. I don't know if you
Not
saw the
sure.
picture.
No.
If you know Cone Guy, you know Cone
I
Guy.
saw a few of the kids on TikTok throwing some balls, but didn't see a lot of urethane going down. But I saw a couple of purples, but
Yeah, Bradley. What's his name? Bradley Clyer. He's the one I follow. So that's the picture he took
Oh,
from
there you
Junior
go.
Gold, which is a rack. I'm going to describe the picture. There are 8 urethane balls on this rack. So there's a little bit of it all. He's been throwing purple and black most of the time. He's got a really, really nice rev rate, and he's been really enjoying the purple. But he's been struggling a little bit as well. I saw Malia Briggs.
yeah.
At the
She struggled at junior gold this year.
She
But the
did.
Storm staffer, she obviously doesn't have that luxury of throwing the purple or the black, or she could have thrown the 78U, but she's around the side of the ball a little bit more, and yeah, she did struggle and she missed the cut this year, which for her is unheard of. So it just goes to show that it can be a problem.
Yeah. And I think the biggest issue is, say in a few years' time, EMC was a prime example of this. They built patterns to kind of combat these purple hammers. So what's going to happen in 5 years' time when this junior generation join the adult
Yeah,
team
that's it.
and they can't throw anything else?
Yeah, it's going to be a case of either these patterns are just going to become silly, or they're going to have to make a decision, I think, because you can't keep trying to create patterns, spending hours and hours and hours trying to create a pattern to deliberately go out and destroy a bowling ball. Just say no to said bowling ball, and have an oil pattern as an oil pattern on the lane as you would think an oil pattern should look, not with staggers like this all the way up the sides and bumps and all that. It gets silly, and it gets to a point where that they've deliberately created that pattern to combat one ball, whereas there is a rule in play from the PBA saying no, but it's not. That's the thing. It's not even that one ball. Obviously, that's the conception. It's not purple hammer. It is the era of pitch black, the era booyah, the era of urethane pre 2022. That is just makes them bouncy balls because they are so soft, and that's what they're trying to get away from with the 78D rule, which seems to have worked on tour. Europe is starting to implement it ever so slightly. They haven't really yet.
Did you see the 2025 most drilled balls post that was announced this week?
No.
So the most drilled balls post was released. See if I can find it whilst I chat to you. And do you know which ball was drilled the most?
I would say black hammer, but
Nope.
based on that, it wasn't.
It was the Evoke.
Okay, yeah.
So the motive ball, the Evoke, was the most drilled ball of the
EJ doing
year.
his thing.
Absolutely, EJ doing his thing.
But EJ's a prime example, right? So you've got everybody, not everybody, but you've got Storm, Hammer, Brunswick, all Brunswick staffers, Hammer, Ebonite, Track, they're throwing black hammers when they can, when necessary. EJ can't throw that ball, but yet he's still the best bowler in the world. So it does go to show that the talent will overcome that ball if that talent is good.
Yeah, so the Evoke was the most drilled ball. Then it was the the Motive Venom Shock, and then it went really far down. So those are the two most drilled balls, both Motive balls, which I thought was quite interesting as well. So here, so balls drilled.
Oh, yeah.
Can't really see them, but it's Motive, and then it's a bit of a fan out.
That's on the PBA.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So it's been an interesting dynamic, really. So, it's interesting to see that obviously Motive, if you follow it, the team standings this year, they've absolutely killed it. They've done
That is a
really
Motive
well.
list. That's Motive's list of their most drilled balls. Because they're all Motive balls.
Is it?
Yeah, they're all Motive balls.
Is it only Motive?
Yeah, so that's just their balls drilled on the PBA.
So the most drilled ball was Motive because that was not Motive Graph. Mark's just, yeah.
But it could well have been.
Could well have
It
been.
could well have been the Evoke because that was a deadly ball. And I think it definitely won 2 titles in a row. It might even have been 3. Ethan Fjord
I love
won
that
his.
kid. Yeah.
EJ. I think EJ won with it this year as well. I mean, Motive did really, really well this year.
I think we should also talk about one of the most incredible achievements of the PBA this year. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Ben.
No.
No?
No.
I thought that was mega impressive, to be honest.
What, him playing Balmo?
Yeah, just going out there first year,
Yeah.
PBA World Series. He's obviously won 3 EBT titles. Took the chance, went out, bowled the World Series.
Ben is incredible.
And
Cash.
made the round of 16 on Shark with a bye. That was unreal.
So that wasn't what I was going to say, but love you, Ben. That was amazing. We were all watching you, by the way, from here. I was actually going to say Darren being the first ever bowler in history to win a PBA title, one-handed and two-handed.
Yeah,
I thought that was
this
crazy.
weekend, wasn't it? I think
It was, yeah.
It was a regional title, I think, this weekend.
Shout out to Tang.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Our two-handed journeys have been very different. He's just gone and killed it. And the thing is, he's so new to it still. He's getting better and better. You know,
that's it.
the fact that he's winning one of the title now, he is. Darren Tang is going to be one to watch. I think over the next few years, we'll have to wait and see. But that's our roundup done, I think.
Yeah, that's.
Urethane should or should it not be banned?
Should it or should it not be banned? It's going to be.
Just a quick one, what's your opinion?
Ultimately, it doesn't really matter because you're going to throw what you can throw. If it's banned, you're not going to throw it, and you're going to move on.
Yeah.
If it's not banned, you're probably going to throw it. Is it going to cause? For me, the decision needs to be made for whatever is going to further the sport, and I think that eventually will be putting a ban in place. Maybe the 78D hardness rule has to be looked at more, because then are you going to create a purple hammer with that hardness? Probably. Or just stick with the black, because again, the black is still a very, very good ball. It's still a pearl urethane. It's still very, very good. In my opinion, it's still better than the 78U alternative from Storm and Global or Storm product. But I think it will come to it that the 78D rule will be in effect everywhere. I don't think they'll ban it completely, because I just think there'll be too much kickback from Brunswick. When they obviously corner 7 brands of market, it's very, very difficult to do that, and they've got such a big influence in sponsoring of events and things like that. If they banned it altogether, they just say, well, I think from their point of view, they feel a bit attacked because, hang on a minute, we've made a superior product.
And we're getting
Get
penalised
better.
for it.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to compete,
with us.
get better, improve. Like Formula One, for example, you've built a better car. You don't say, oh, well, you need to ban that fuel injection system because that's too good. You just get better. You have to get better to compete with that manufacturer.
McLaren, prime example.
Yeah, exactly. That seems to be where I think that's my opinion, and definitely Brunswick's opinion. It's a case of, well, don't penalise us for being better. But I think it will come to a 78D rule at some point. But we shall see. Let us know your opinion.
Don't ban urethane, I love it. I can't throw anything else. No, I like it. I am aware that I'm reliant on it. I am. But it's why I went and bought a load of reactive balls to get better.
Yeah, exactly.
And I understand my gap in my knowledge, so I'm making an effort to get better at it. I'm not just, don't ban urethane because I'm rubbish with everything else. I'm just trying to get better with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, catch us next time.
Yes.
Like, follow, subscribe.